Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so I want to teach you something today that I learned a long time ago during a Tony Robbins seminar, and then we learned it on a much deeper level during a series of NLP trainings over a 2-year period of time. It is the number one thing that causes a lot of emotional pain, a lot of emotional suffering, or it could cause a lot of emotional joy and happiness. It all depends on how you wire it inside. It not only has to do with communication, but it has to do with how we give meaning to the experiences that we experience. So I'm going to use a series of true life and real life stories and experiences to help you to understand how we do this essentially unconsciously. Now, what we do unconsciously without realizing it, unless you've been trained in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and or hypnosis, especially Ericksonian hypnosis, this is something that's completely outside of the majority of people's awareness. In fact, very, very few people study NLP or neuro-linguistic programming. Now, one of the things that really fascinated and blew my mind when it came to understanding neuro-linguistic programming and how we communicate unconsciously is how we give meaning to each word, or meanings plural, to each word that we use and or listen to. And here's the I guess bizarre part. The person that you're communicating to usually gives completely different meanings to the same words. So here you are saying A and you mean A, and the other person in their brain, because of the country or the city or state or the family that they were raised in, says, oh yeah, this word means this over here. And you're like, no, this word means this over here. What are you talking about? So in other words, we usually give two completely radically different meanings to the same words, and we don't realize we're doing it. So when we're talking to each other, we're using the same words. We understand the word in English or words, but we don't realize unconsciously, yeah, that means this to me, that word means that to me, this, that, and the other person's saying, no, it means A, B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, completely different meanings. So you're having two completely separate conversations. Now, I'm going to go way past what I just shared here. This is going to be a long video. It may end up being 2 or 3 videos. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to break this down yet. This video, I want this video to be a healing video, because this video will save someone's life. This video absolutely will save your relationship, and this video will save your heart and a lot of emotional pain and suffering. And I'll be really honest, this video was stimulated another word I'm looking for. It was, I guess I'll use the word triggered. That's not the word I want. Inspired by an avoidant who I care very, very much about. Now, human beings are they are a complex entity / being. And here's what I mean. When it comes to communication alone, we do so many different things in our brains that changes the meanings to the words that we're using. It's not even funny. Communication is a really, really, really complex thing between human beings. I'm going to cut ahead and use one of the stories to kind of give you an example of what I mean. So first of all, let me say this. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and you're saying A and you mean A and your intentions are A, and they start to get pissed off, angry, and they start to argue with you, and you're kind of like, wait, what are they arguing about? Like, what are they mad about? Like, it's confusing. You're like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And they're like, yes, you are. You said this and this means that. And you're like, no, that's not what I mean. They're like, yes, you do. This means that. And they lock on and they hold on and they will not. Because in their mind, it's something they learned in kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, 5th grade, from their mother, their father, their teachers, and well, this word means this over here. The fact remains, we as humans give different meanings to the same words without realizing we're doing it. So let's say someone was raised in the suburbs, and then there's someone that was raised 30 miles away, call it in the ghetto, okay? they can change meaning to the same words. This is what can cause massive conflicts between human beings. Now, I'm going to give you a real life example. So first of all, I'm going to give you the answer to, or at least an answer that can really, really help clear this up. So if somebody says something and you're not 100% sure what they mean, all you have to do is say, when you say this word in this sentence, what does this mean to you? Because the communication really is about what the communicator is saying and what it means to them, because they're the ones sharing it with you. If you change the meaning of their words and what their intention is, well, you just screwed everything up. But unfortunately, that's what human beings do a lot of the time. I promise you, if you follow this video through, even if I go to a second video, this will change your life. It will make your life much more manageable, reasonable, emotionally stable. It'll help out your relationships. I swear this to you. Follow this. Now, before I took NLP courses, I was completely oblivious to this, as most people. I had no idea, and yet I was doing this all the time and getting in arguments and fighting, getting my emotions hurt and angry at people and thinking, oh, they're so mean. And they're like, what are you mad about? What? And they would be like, what's the problem? I don't know. And I'm like, oh, why would you say that? And I'm like, say what? All right, here's the real life example. So there's someone I care about very, very much. And this was about, I'm going to guess this was about 8 weeks ago, maybe more. I'm not exactly sure on the date. So we were at a coffee shop and we were hanging out. It's in San Francisco on Chestnut, Pete's Coffee. And I was telling this person how much the people around her truly love her and care about her. And I said, if they knew your situation, I bet they would help you out. They would love to help you because these people love this person. It is clear as day. It's a beautiful thing to experience and watch. And this person didn't realize this and literally said, well, why would they do that for me? And I was like, wait, what? So people that were abused as children and told they're no good, they're nothing, they're constantly being like, oh, berated, like, people with attachment styles, empaths, you're always told you're ugly, you're no good, and it sinks in to where even when you listen to someone telling you how much people love you and how it's so obvious and that they would help them, etc., they have a hard time hearing that. They literally at times will literally hear the complete opposite. This is something that we do unconsciously when we filter words through different beliefs, through different life experiences, through different meanings of words, etc., etc. There's a myriad of different things that we do unconsciously that will literally change the meaning of a word that someone says to you. So I was telling this person that I'm sure there's a lot of people that come to your work, customers, etc., that would love to help you out if they just knew, etc., etc., etc. And I don't remember what it was I was saying specifically or what they said in response, but they said something to me, and I was like, wait, what? I go, and I knew instantly, oh, they didn't actually hear what I said. They literally added a word or changed something. So they deleted, distorted, or generalized something that I said. And it changed the meaning completely of what I said. And they thought I said something bad. I'm like, wait, what exactly did you think I said? So I remember the response was something like, well, why would they think that about me? I'm like, think what about you? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it was like, whoa. I'm saying love, 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 like, help, 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 be good to you, care about you. And they heard they didn't hear that. I mean, literally, physically, neurologically, they did not hear what I was saying. They heard the opposite. So I had them tell me, I said, tell me verbatim what you heard me say, word for word in the same order. And they said it, and they added a word in the middle of the sentence of what I said, and it changed the meaning completely. Now, did they do this purposely, consciously? No, not at all. It was an unconscious filter that they had because they had certain beliefs about themselves. And so when I was saying these positive things, it got filtered through, I'm no good, no one likes me, nobody would help me, or, I don't know exactly what they were, but it was negative beliefs. And a filter changes something to be something that you didn't say or do. So here I am saying something really, really kind and caring, and how these people really care about this person and genuinely love her. And she literally couldn't hear what I was saying. It shocked me because I was like, whoa, she doesn't realize how much people love her. Now here's a beautiful person, a kind-hearted person that could have all the help in the world if they would realize that these people love her. But the problem is, and I know I'm one of them, see, we all do this. We all do this thing where we don't think anyone would help us, nobody likes us, we're not good enough, or whatever from our childhood, call it programming. So what happens is we're like, well, how come everyone gets ahead in life? Like, why are they so happy? Why? Well, because when people say positive things to you, you unconsciously reverse the meaning and you hear something else, and therefore you don't allow people to help you, or you walk away from people, or you never let them know, or who knows like what it does. See, this is what I mean when like we are really controlled by our unconscious mind. So we got to find out like, hey, what's going on inside there? All right, I'll give you a real life example of mine. When I was a teenager, I had a really good friend, best friend of my life. His name's Marlon. And I went out with his mother and his older sister, Jenna. And we went to the mall, and there was this girl, really pretty girl. She's with a friend, and she was smiling at me. And Mrs. Pilling and her daughter, Jenna, go, Michael, go talk to that girl. I'm like, no way. And Mrs. Pilling goes, why? She's really pretty, Michael. She's really cute. And I said, no way, look at the way she's looking at me. And she goes, what are you talking about? She's smiling at you. Like, yeah, I can tell. Now watch this. In my eyes, I saw an evil smile, like this girl is going to hurt me. There's no way in hell I'm going to talk to her. It literally, like, see, I had a filter. I had a pretty abusive childhood, and women in my life were the ones that were very abusive. So in my eyes, when someone smiled at you like that, my filter said, look out, this person's gonna hurt you. So I think I said something to Mrs. Pilling and Jenna, like, no way, that girl's gonna hurt me. And I go, look at the way she's smiling at me. And they're like, what are you talking about? Now, with all the prodding and support, that which I really appreciated from Mrs. Pilling and Jenna, which was actually surprising because I never got that kind of support before in my life, I still did. I was like, there's no way in hell I was going to talk to that mean, evil girl with that evil smile. Because I'm telling you, when it went through my filter, that's what I saw. And they're like, Michael, she's not mean. No way in hell they could have convinced me otherwise. Now, they happened to be right, and my filter was wrong, but that's what we do in life. We also do this in conversations with words. We filter words and give words different meanings. Just like I was given the meaning of this girl's going to hurt me, she's mean. They're saying, no, she's a good person. She's going to be nice to you. Thus, opportunity lost. And I would walk around for years going, how come no one's nice to me? How come nobody wants to talk to me? Because I wasn't talking to them because I thought they were mean. It was all in my filters. The funny thing about it was I ended up dating some of the meanest girls in the world because my filter said those girls nice, those girls mean, and it was completely backwards. I remember bringing this up to Mrs. Pilling and Jenna in their living room one evening. And I was like, how come I don't ever meet anyone? How come I can't get a girlfriend? How come no one's nice to me? And they just go, oh, and they literally rolled their eyes, like, oh my God. And so, because they had seen this happen more than once. So let's say let's say they convinced me to date that girl or one of these really nice girls that genuinely was nice and down to earth. My filter, anytime they would do something, let's say they did something nice for me, bought me a gift, bought me a cake, whatever. My brain will filter it like, oh, they're going to set me up. Oh, they're going to hurt me. Oh, they're going to do something. And thus, opportunity lost. Now, luckily, I got involved in NLP around my early 20s. I think it was 19 when I read my first Tony Robbins book. And then at age of 20, that's when I started going to Tony Robbins seminars. And then I got involved in NLP. So at a very young age, I started learning this stuff. And compared to most human beings, I was very, very blessed. So once I started learning this now here's the funny thing. When I learned about how we give different meanings in something called Meaning Reframe, I looked back at this memory. I was like, oh my God, I remember that. I really thought that girl was going to be mean to me. And Jenna and Mrs. Pillar were like, no, Michael, that girl really likes you. She's a good person. I started flashing back on all these memories of all these people that I walked away from and put the wall up to. And I was like, wow, did I waste a lot of opportunity. So I very specifically remember there's two things that consciously I remember. Now, it's probably more, but the Meaning Reframe and also timeline therapy. So timeline therapy, you go back to the very first time when you took on this belief. Something happened, and then you think, okay, these kind of people they do this. And even when someone does nice or says something really nice to you, your brain flips it around like, oh, they mean the opposite, okay? And I'm sure you guys have had arguments with people where you're trying to say A and they hear B, and you're just arguing to death. And you've probably even screamed, that's not what I mean. They're like, yes, it is. Because they're locked onto, well, this is what this one word means. Like, words can have different meanings. Now, here's what I mean. Now, I know I used this at least once or twice before. I'm going to use it again because it applies here. So when I was a little kid, I saved up to buy these Converse. Now, I had these paper outs. I had morning paper outs, 2 in the morning and 2 after school. So I had a pretty, good heavy workload. And I saved up for months to buy these brand new Converse that just came out. And I think I saved for like 3 months or 4 months every dime I had to buy these shoes because they were really expensive. They are the blue suede Converse, okay? They're like a tennis shoe, I believe. And I remember the very first morning I put them on. My brother Charlie had just flown in from Hawaii. And we moved to Wisconsin, and he was gone for like 2 years or so. They were in Hawaii for 2 or 3 years. I forget. My 2 older brothers. And he comes walking into the kids. He goes, man, Michael, those shoes are bad. And I was like, what? I remember I was like, what? I was on the verge of tears because I saved up so much money for these damn shoes. And they were overpriced, at least in my mind. But I wanted them so bad. I didn't care. And I'm like, what? Why are they bad? What's wrong with them? And he goes, no, Michael, they're bad. I'm like, why? And I literally was just about to start bawling. I had, I think, a tear or so coming out. And then my other brother, who was closer to my age, goes, no, Michael, he means they're good. And I go, what? Well, why didn't he just say that? And he goes, Michael, those shoes are bad. He goes, why are they bad? What's wrong with them? And then my other brother goes, no. He goes, Michael, the word bad means good. Now, I was all lost and confused, and I was like, what? Now, they were out there in California and Hawaii, and Hawaii for the most part. And generally terms on the West Coast start, and they move across the country, okay? And back then, in that part of the 70s, probably 76 or so, I don't remember exactly, and that's when the word bad started to mean like really good, like that means badass, and like really, really good, like that's awesome. And as a little kid, I kind of just walked away confused. I still kind of felt bad, even though they had told me like, no, he's really saying those are really cool shoes. Now, this is a beginning of understanding what this whole video series is going to be about, because you have to understand, it's like the number one core piece of understanding is understanding that people can give different meanings using the same word. Not only is this in words communication, it's also in physical experiences. So people, I remember like when I first started lifting weights, it makes your muscles burn like really bad, especially the next 2 days. Like, oh my God, it hurts. But here's the really weird thing: if you push through that pain and you keep going back again and again and again, after about 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, like all of a sudden your body begins to recognize that pain as pleasure. So your body physically and literally gave a physical meaning reframe. So this thing that was painful and hurt that made you want to stop suddenly says, oh, this is good. In fact, the phrase that we would say is like, feel the burn, right? Like, so if you're burning, that means you're doing a good job, and that would give you an emotional high. It literally would suddenly trigger these, I guess, endorphins or whatever chemicals in your body that make you feel like this rush, and it makes you want to to lift more weights, heavier weights, and push it even further and burn and hurt even more. So suddenly this signal of pain signaled good job and pleasure. Now the reason why I'm breaking this down on this level is because you can hear a word from someone that means something completely positive, but your brain says, well, no, that's a bad word, and where I learned this word means this over here. So one of the things that we say in NLP is like, give the meaning to the words and to the experiences that support you, that empower you. Okay, now I'm going to give you a real life experience that I had that was very, 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 probably the saddest day, not probably, it was the saddest day of my life, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And it changed me in a very, very bad way. It crushed me. Okay, so before I get into that real life story, to help you understand this even deeper, one of the things you have to learn is you have to look for the meaning that the communicator is giving to you. Now, admittedly, this isn't hard, but if you just start to go, okay, what is their intention? Like, literally ask yourself, and it's like, here's something I do visually. So they're talking to me, so I imagine words are coming out of their mouth. So I'm looking behind the words, over, like it's like my vision goes over their head, over their mouth, over the words that are coming out of their mouth, and going and looking for the image or the meaning or the intention behind the words. Like what are they trying to communicate to me? If you listen from that perspective, that alone, that one technique will clarify a lot. Now, during the NLP trainings, we have a belief that says communication is the response that you get. So let's say you're trying to explain that you own a red A-frame house, okay? Now, the communication isn't what you said. The communication is what they heard. So if they hear X and you're trying to say A, red A-frame house, and they're like, oh, a big condo in the big city. You're like, no, it's a red A-frame home out in the country. So if they say, oh, it's a small little condo in the big city, clearly the communication didn't get across. So our job as NLP people, and now you as a person listening to this video, is your job is to change your communication until they hear what you're saying. So there's a match. You're saying red A-frame home in the country, they hear red A-frame home in the country. Literally, sometimes you have to scream, no, that's not what I'm saying. Now, that used to be one of my strategies a long time ago before I got good at all this NLP communication stuff, but it would work. And they'd be like, oh, really? Oh, what are you trying to say? Because sometimes, some people are so caught up in their own meaning. It's like an unconscious hypnosis, and they don't even know they're under it. And so you have to break that pattern. It's like a pattern that this word means that. And you're like, no, that's not what I mean. I'm trying to say your shoes are really cool. So with this young lady, here she is going, well, why would they think that about me? And I'm like, think what? What are you talking about? And she goes, well, you said blah, 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 and that means they think this about me. I'm like, that's not what I literally go, because that's not what I said. It was close. But she added a word. I'm like, no, that's not what I said. She goes, yes, it is. I go, repeat slowly, word for word, what you just said verbatim. And she did. And I go, I said almost that. You added a word, and here's the word you added, and that changed the meaning to mean the opposite of what I said. And she goes, well, what did you say? And then I said it really slowly and clearly, and she goes, really? I'm like, yes. I go, what have I been telling you for the last 15 minutes? Well, that these people love me and they care about me. And I go, yeah. I go, that sentence that you made up doesn't even match even closely with what I'm saying. She went, huh. Now, at this point, I realized this is a younger person, never studied NLP or HIP. See, what is hypnosis? Hypnosis is understanding the communication that you're doing underneath the surface level. So what are you doing unconsciously to make you feel this way, think this way, or have these emotions, or see things in this way? So that's what we're doing. It's like, what's going on with you unconsciously? And when we can find that out, that's when we begin to make the changes. Because a lot of times, do you know what therapy really is? It's understanding, like, oh, when you said my shoes were bad, you meant they're really, really cool. It's like, yeah. I could have gone for, in fact, I'll be honest with you, I actually went for years thinking my brother was saying that my shoes were bad because I just couldn't believe my other brother was, no, he's saying they're really good. And I'm thinking, well, why doesn't he say that? And I literally said that, so why didn't he say that? So I walked away feeling half-hearted, and I didn't really want to wear the shoes anymore. Now, these are some expensive-ass shoes, and I walked around feeling bad in them, and that was kind of the way it was. Now, when I started taking NLP trainings, that was one of the memories that came up. Because even as I got older in middle school and high school, I started to say, hey man, that bike is bad, dude. Because I even started to say it years later. And yet didn't realize, wait a minute, that's what my brother was doing 5 years before that. Alright, in the next video, I'm going to talk about a best friend of mine that died and how it affected me and what changed it around. But it literally took about 10 years later. If you're enjoying this video series, please click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and if you want, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video, and this series is going to continue on. You're going to learn some real powerful learnings that are going to heal you emotionally and free you from a lot of misunderstandings. If you want to buy one of my books on dating and relationships, go to MikeKollin.com or crackedfemalcode.com. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.